What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're checking back in on Space Haven, which has its official Steam release coming in a couple of days. As of right now, I'm recording this, I think, on the 18th or the 19th, and it comes out on the 21st. So, if you haven't seen this game before, it's a remarkably well-animated little colony builder. If you ever played anything like Space Base DF or, well, either way, that would probably be the closest thing. You build a space station, you fly the space station around planet to planet to gather resources. There's going to be derelict spacecraft that are full of xenomorphs and aliens that your little colonists fight. It's Rimworld in space. That's all you need to know. So let's go ahead and start on off, and hopefully we can wet your whistle a little bit and get you excited about the possibility of playing Space Haven. We've got normal game mode. I'm going to put it on abandoned mining station because this basic platform right here is effectively a really, really long tutorial. And so, I've already played through the basic platform, and I know all the basic controls, and I have a rough idea of what I'm doing. And so it's going to be pretty easy for us to start up with the abandoned mining station. Apparently, this mining station was abandoned at the height of the crisis on Earth and has now been repurposed as a shipyard. Use its facilities to build your ship from scratch and strike out into the unknown. Okay. Our colony's name is going to be... Oh, I don't even know, dude. I don't know what I want to name the base right now. We'll call it, Mustakrakesh. There we go. That sounds good. We'll go off to the right, and we can play the game on a couple of different difficulties right here. Doesn't really matter which one you pick as far as I'm concerned. I'll probably go with Builder, maybe. We'll have a little bit more resources to play around with. This is mostly for video making purposes. At the beginning of this, I've done a test run through this, and actually, building materials are kind of tight if you start out on medium, and there's going to be a lot of sitting around waiting for things to be crafted. If we start out on builder, it'll just kind of lubricate that process a little bit better, so that's what we're going to do. We have our crew right here. We have Declan, who used to be a sheriff. So this guy's a fighter. This guy's really, really good at going out onto derelicts and kind of slapping things around. We've got Heaven, who used to be a police officer. Everybody's got varying skills over here on the right that they can use with their teams, and then they have personal skills over on this side in case they're the same skills. But anyways, attributes and then skills over here. We have Jalen, who is a computer programmer and apparently forgot to have a neck installed when he had his head put on. We have Ramsha, who, after Final Fantasy Tactics, went on and became a space explorer. I know, those packed full lives that some of these characters lead. And then she's an engineer. And then we have Sally, who is a lawyer, which means she probably just has really good communication skills, would be my guess. We can choose what color we want these guys to be. I would suggest that we go with... I'm going to go with designations according to... I'm going to go with designations according to Starfleet convention, okay? So we've got security, we've got engineering, and then we've got science. Although I think this person would actually... I don't remember what white was in Starfleet. What was white? Occasionally you saw somebody that was wearing a white shirt in Starfleet, and I don't recall. The lawyer can just wear... Not science. Science, yeah. The lawyer can be purple, because I don't know what else to do with her. Next. Okay, so I promise this is going to look super intimidating when you first start out. There's a lot of things that are stacking up, so this mining station will only supply your crew members for a little while. So you should probably start building your new spaceship. You can build the new ship hull title little by little, but do not have to design it outright. Use the build hull tool in the build menu and paint hull tiles on the new ship hull canvas found next to the mining station. Okay, so I know it looks intimidating and it looks scary because there was a lot of little red tiles and things popped up. That's just the nature of the world being generated in this playthrough. None of the power connections and all the other stuff have been established yet, and so, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. Once the oxygen levels stabilize, as they should at the beginning, and once the O2 levels and the carbon dioxide kind of filter around, you'll be fine. See, all of them went away. The only thing we have now is that storage is full, but frankly, we have a bunch of storages in this little area, so why worry about it? The first thing you want to do at the beginning of your playthrough with Space Haven is you want to set up some crops to grow, otherwise you're going to starve pretty quickly. I usually take these right here, and I'll put one of each crop inside them. So you're going to want to click on the object, go to grow, and then this one can be for fibers. Yeah, sounds good. This one right here will be for vegetables and root plants. Sounds good. And then this one will be for artificial meat, which apparently grows in a giant tank of dirt. That's what I learned today. What you'll also see is that our little dudes all have spacesuits on. They're all going to need to take those spacesuits off before they're going to be able to undertake any task or do any activity. But for right now, they'll go to the airlock. They'll knock those out. We are inside of a little area that looks as though it has a gold mine It looks, actually, I think that's a noble metal mine, if I remember correctly. We don't have any in our inventory right now, but that one's going to be carbon, that one's water, and I think that one's either noble metals or metals. I'm not sure which. And then there's a couple others over here as well. This is raw chemicals, apparently. We've got base metals, we've got noble metals, we've got carbon, and we've got water. And we also have one derelict in the area. That derelict is going to be really important for us. That derelict is going to supply us with the few pieces of hull that we're going to need in order to get our spaceship put together, because yes, we will be building spaceships. As you can see, all these guys have taken off their spacesuits and they now undergone the tasks that are just around the base. Things like hauling, building, crafting, they'll get it done. One of our security officers is over here doing all the planting for the season, which is really, really nice. Gonna take them a while because they're not particularly good at that task, but maybe with some luck they'll level into it. Actually, this person has 3 botany levels. Traits revealed after the apocalypse: antisocial, an antisocial police officer. There are some kind of like things you need to be aware of. This area is your manufacturing area. I'm not going to manually go through every single building and tell you what it does, because there's probably like a half dozen to a dozen buildings inside of here that all do different stuff. I'll just kind of like click on it and show it to you as we get to it and as we require it. But there's everything from like thermal regulators to kind of electronic fabricators, and these are all going to be kind of important for us, so keep that in mind. Other stuff to be aware of with your starting base. These are going to be your salvage pods right here. So these 2 are pods that you can take out to go build things in the vacuum, or you can go to harvest things in the vacuum, so on and so forth. They're like little spheres that have little grabber arms on them, and these guys will jump inside of them and just autopilot them around when they need them, so you don't need to set them up or do anything. This right here is the shuttle. The shuttle is super important because it's the only thing that allows you to go dock on other colonies. And in fact, we're going to do that right now because that's one of the first tasks that we really kind of want to get undertaken. Well, what are you doing? What are you taking to the grow bed right now? Oh, I think they're all taking seeds over there. Yeah, so I think you put 1 in, and I think you get like 4 out or something like that. They're taking the vegetables and things over here to these various beds so that they'll get knocked out. And if you take a look, you can actually see that they are growing. So they're good to go. We want to find one of our security officers who's good at shooting. And that's Declan over here. We want to draft Declan, and after we draft Declan, we'll want to go through and we want to arm him. Both of our security officers are going to get the heavy rifles or the shotguns or whatever it is that we have on us. There we go. There's your shotgun. You will notice that once they have a weapon, they'll put on like a little combat backpack and they'll have fatigues on. I don't know if that's like permanent or if it goes away with time, but like this dude right here is drafted. Same thing as in Rimworld. You put them into kind of like a combat state. What we want to do now is we want to go spacesuit on by right-clicking on the spaceship. And then once he's got his spacesuit on, which he does now, we can get inside the spaceship, which is used with the Enter Craft loading button right there. Then we need to draft the spaceship, although it's drafted by default. So if you click on this, it's going to undraft it. And you're going to sit around clicking and be like, why won't it do what I want it to do? Or maybe I'm just projecting. That's exactly what happened to me. It's already drafted by default. You, like, literally, you just click this and grab onto it, and then you're going to give it a docking order, and it'll show you all the available docking, like, umbilicuses inside of the galaxy or the little area that you're in, and then just click on that thing and hit accept, and what you'll see is he will jump inside the ship, it will fly on over here, and now we're going to explore ourselves a spaceship. It is incredibly important that you don't explore any derelicts if you don't have a weapon equipped. I can't express that to you enough. Do not send one of your crewmen to his death by just, like, not remembering to give them a weapon. And when we want to offload, you just click on the little list right there, and there he is. We have enemies everywhere, and you will note that he just blasted them to pieces with a shotgun. Okay, let me have Declan, and we're going to take manual control of him for right now. We're going to open up this door, and there's another alien right there. Yeah, you probably want to shoot him. That'd probably be a really smart idea. There you go. Well done. I didn't expect this place to have enemies in it. There are no sound effects for the combat right now as far as I can tell. In fact, let me just see if that's disabled by default. But yeah, I don't hear that many sounds right now, and it wasn't playing sounds when I was playing the game earlier. It was just playing the soundtrack, and so I'm thinking there may be some placeholders and whatnot inside of the... Oh, is he bleeding right now? What's wrong with him? I am bleeding and require a medical bed. Yeah, go load back into the ship. Never mind. Maybe kill the alien first, though. Yeah, there are kind of a great many aliens down in here. Alright, so go load on into the... Did this man just go to bed? Oh, dude, he got exhausted. Oh, no. That might actually work out kind of poorly. You go... Yes, I'm drafting you, and I'm telling you to go get in the ship. There we go. So dock, and we're going to take you back over here. I wasn't expecting there to be that many aliens inside of that thing, I'll be honest with you. The few times that I've gone and done the salvaging in my test plays of this game, there were no aliens inside of the derelict. And that was on a much higher difficulty that I was testing the game out on. So anyways, kind of a strange situation to find myself in right now, just being completely and totally overrun by space cockroaches. Sucks. Apparently, they are also tough enough to where they can take 12-gauge space buckshot to the face and walk it off. Space buckshot is way better than normal buckshot, by the way, in case you hadn't been studying your various weapon statistics lately. We're going to undraft him, and then he can just go and do whatever it is he's going to do. My guess is that he will more than likely go to a medical bed. He is still bleeding pretty good, though. It looks like he's healing up, so that's good. I don't know if somebody's going to come and help him. Yeah, it looks like somebody's tending to him, actually. Do you have a doctoring skill? It's just a question. Oh, yeah, you do. You have a 3 in medical. Very nice. Yeah, patch him up. Yeah, he's getting his health back now, so obviously it's not that difficult to heal up your dudes. If you want to, this is like one of the commands that's a little bit confusing if you haven't played the tutorial, or even if you have. If you want to build a ship, you got to go to the edit menu right here. And so you got to like basically select and start building a hull. And so what we'll do is we'll put in like a little, how much is that going to take right there? That right there is going to take like a solid 30 hull blocks. Let's save some hull blocks just in case we need them for building later on. We can always make this larger. There we go. We'll start off our spacecraft too. And what you will see is they will jump inside these little pods and they're heading on over to this area. And look, they're building our spaceship. I love the animations in this game. Like, they really did such a good job with the pixel art, making the whole game feel alive. Like, they put a lot of effort into the aesthetics. And frankly, I'm of the opinion that the graphics of a game are the most forward-facing aspect of your game. They're the first way that the player interacts with your title. And in that way, they are kind of the most important thing for the player to like first. If a player doesn't like the overall theme and atmosphere of the graphical tile sets that the game is using, they're not going to keep playing because it's going to be ugly and it's going to kind of hurt their eyes and they're like, eh. Like, you can tough through it in the case of games like Cataclysm DDA or whatever, but it's got to be a really, really good game to sort of overcome the fact that it's hideously ugly. And I'm glad that, like, a lot of colony builders go kind of in that hideously ugly direction. And I like that this game got things up to at least, like, kind of Super Nintendo graphics. Like, late generation Super Nintendo, mid-generation PlayStation graphics. Everything looks really, really good and well animated, and everything has movement and lights, and it blinks, and all the machines actually like have pistons that move around when they're in operation. It's just like there's a lot of things in this game that are very, very well designed and smartly sort of put together in order to catch your eye and make you be like, okay, I want to play a little bit more. They will eventually get this done. This is going to be a pretty big job over here, and so we kind of just want to leave that be and then kind of check in on it periodically. Alright, so Declan's back up and ready to rock. That means, personally, what I want to do is I want him to go back over to that ship because we're going to want to do, like, a serious teardown on this thing as time goes along. He put on his space suit, right? I just wanted to make sure his space suit was put on. I'm going to go ahead and take him over to this, and there we go. We'll dock him on in. Umbilicus is good. And we'll put this back on kind of like a slow boat mode here. Declan, you're still drafted, right? Alright, hopefully the aliens don't respawn. Otherwise, we got big issues. It appears as though the combat is going to get tactical at some point, too, because if you saw right there, they actually have line of sight and things. So let's say that door was open right there, and he fires shotgun pellets down this way. The walls have collision and will stop bullets. The bullets are not just, like, representative from what I've noticed. They take damage on the amount of bullets that actually hit them. So I'm sort of curious if down the line this game is planning on having kind of XCOM-style combat where people take cover behind things and, like, blind fire over the top of it and stuff like that. Because, like, why make the bullet system that complicated if it's just a simple dice rolling system unless you were building to something else? So I guess we'll see. But it seems to imply that at some point during this game's development... Oh, we've actually got Void out here. Yeah, this ship's in rough shape. Okay. This thing is pretty beat. Where's the door at over there? There it is. We found the bridge. That's good. We're going to have to actually, like, spacewalk here. And so this is kind of risky. I personally would not recommend doing that. It seems kind of like a scary thing to do. And I'm kind of a weenie. But we need to get this thing explored. And once it's officially been explored, then we can start a manual teardown of the whole thing. And we can reclaim all these blocks right here so that we can continue building our own base. I think the only room we haven't been inside is this one over here. We'll want to keep an eye on his oxygen supply and his tiredness. Those are the two big things that kind of bottom out on spacewalks pretty quickly. There we go. So this is apparently the SGS Circassia. I think we've killed off all the aliens. So I'm going to load back into the vehicle. Why is the ship in a weird spot? You? Dock over here. Why aren't you in the right spot? That was weird. Why did it pull off over to this side? Occasionally, other people's ships will come through this area, and they will dock at this derelict. I'm not super sure why. I can't honestly tell you why the AI ships occasionally dock at the derelicts. I don't know if they're looting them, or if they're taking stuff from them, or if they're fighting aliens, or what they're doing. Oh, Declan is like dying right now. Put on your spacesuit, dude. Why do you not have a spacesuit on? Why'd you take your... Oh my goodness, this man took off his spacesuit. I don't remember ordering him to take off his spacesuit, but he did it. And so I guess Declan got tired, like, I can't live inside this cage no more. You know, and Declan just ripped off his helmet in the middle of 0G, you know, non-atmo, and just felt his eyeballs get sucked out of his face like BB pellets. Like, no, let's not do that. That's a bad idea. Explosive decompression doesn't do that, to quote Event Horizon. All right, so if we wanted to do stuff with this ship down here, we zoom all the way out to this menu, and then you'll notice each one of these gets like a control box around it. What we want to do is we want to click on that, and then we say salvage, and we tell them what we want them to salvage off of that ship. And I'm just going to highlight everything because that's a pretty big job. And I see no reason not to get it undertaken. Like we need to get it finished off. They will go out in these little ships right here. They may wish to unload him. All right, Declan, I don't need you to be drafted anymore, so you can just go do whatever you want to do. You don't need to be drafted either, so you can redock inside the little pod. And it looks like they've almost got all the base blocks down right here. The other thing that they're going to do is you'll see, look, they're starting to tear down right now. So they'll come over with those little bots right there, and bam, 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 they'll rip out all the walls. And then once all the walls have been ripped out, what they'll do is they'll all load inside the shuttles, and they'll come over with little fusion cutters, and they'll start breaking down all the furniture and all the trash and everything else, and it's pretty sweet, man. Like, it's kind of a cool process. So far, it looks like we've got some hull blocks, and it looks like we got ourselves some carbon, as far as I can see, but I don't know. Yeah, there you go. They're tearing down all the furniture right now. And this is automated, so this thing will actually, as they load it, it will just fly the units back, and then they'll just keep working, which is kind of a cool feature, too. Like, as far as the AI is concerned, I actually think the AI is in a pretty good spot in this game. It doesn't do a whole lot of really dumb stuff or inefficient stuff, which you can't say about a lot of games. Like, a lot of games, the AI really, really does, like, a bad job. This game, they seem to do things in, like, the proper order most of the time without killing themselves, which is actually a really, really big deal for most colony builders. I think that's one of the frequent hard corners that you tend to bump your elbows into when you play a game like this, is that the AI will have like a set of tasks, and you'll tell like one of your colonists, all right, so what I want you to do is, you know, on autopilot, sleep, eat breakfast, go out and grab that object that's over there, haul it back to the stockpile, and then I want you to plant the crops afterwards. And instead, for whatever reason, they'll walk past the thing that needs to be hauled in order for them to make the crops, and then they'll just be like, yeah, and they'll just kind of get stuck. Happens with a lot of games. I haven't seen it happen with Space Haven so far, which I think is actually a really, really positive point to talk about. Another day on the spacecraft. You'll see that they're all in coffee mode right here, so they're all coming down to work on, this is the kitchen, in case you were wondering what the kitchen looked like. That's the kitchen right there. That's where they're going to get most of their stuff done. Like, really, this beginning portion of the game is pretty solid. Like, they start you out with really everything you need to basically survive for a while on this space station. Like, you're going to have to go somewhere eventually, but for right now, it's not, you know, that important. Now, we'll let them fast forward for a minute, and we'll see if they just kind of get to work over here, what sort of hauling we end up doing. It looks like they've mostly brought back soft scrap Energy scrap, tech scrap. Did we get any hull scrap? We did get hull scrap. Very nice. Okay, so what we do with this stuff is you take it to a recycler, which is this building right here. And with the recycler, what I would say is, like, just put all these jobs on. Like, if you have it available, they should be doing it. You know what I mean? Like, this should not be a job that runs 24 hours a day. It should just be a job that occasionally comes up if you've been salvaging, you know? And so there you go. You can see they're going in, and they're using the machine right here to convert all the scrap that we're pulling off of this station into usable building blocks of our society, which is good because we're basically out and we need a lot more. Like, we're going to need at least 40 or 50 more blocks of hull type anyways before we're going to be able to get this spaceship into a situation where I want it to be. We can dismiss that. We do need to build an airlock over here, so let's continue working on the ship. The next thing we're going to need is an airlock, and I think that's in the life support menu. And it's not in the life support. It's in the airlock menu. Gotcha. Okay, so the airlock's pretty simple. You press F to rotate stuff in this game. We'll take this over to that side right there, and we'll install our little umbilicus. Now we have a way to actually get on board this ship that we're building. Building job not possible. Why not? Insufficient available resources. We need infra blocks and hull blocks. We should have both of those. Yeah. I think it's just panicking and freaking out right now. Very nice, dude. You can see this place kind of stripping out right now. That's good because we're going to tear the whole damn thing down. Like, down to these skivvies. We're going to rip this place apart, so by all means, destroy everything you possibly can because we need it all. Like, every last bit of it. And our airlock right here is being assembled now. There's an incoming ship. That could be bad. Can you, like, do this? This guy's kind of, like, marooned over on this little ship, and we only have the one shuttle. Yeah, I was going to say, help this guy out. Oh, he can spacewalk through a hole in the wall if he doesn't have any other access. I've totally never seen them do that before, but it's a nice little caveat. So apparently a ship has entered the sector. It ain't moving around too much. We can hail it. Let's see if we can hail this guy. Let's see here. It says, cannot hail operations online, set system readiness in the systems menu. My operations is offline? Where's my operations sector at? That's actually something that I'm not super aware of. That's not the operations. That's the couch right. Oh, maybe we don't have an operations sector. I don't actually see... What they're asking for is the bridge, effectively. And I don't see a bridge in here. I know what the bridge tile looks like. So unless I'm just missing it, I don't think we actually have a bridge. So yeah, we're not going to be able to hail them. We could just try to board them and, like, see what happens. But I don't know. We have stripped this thing down hard. Very nice. That's what I like to see right there. Just people being super, super task-oriented. I want this thing torn down, like, seriously, like, quickly. We need a lot of hull scrap, so the more we can get, the better. It doesn't look like they're loading a lot of the stuff that's right there. It's kind of a bummer. I also don't know why the airlock's not getting built. It's possible that it's not happy with the placement. I'll just kind of move the placement around and see if it'll do better. I kind of wanted it to be in a corner, though, is what I really preferred. There, we'll move it to that corner. Oh, it left. The daughter Ariel has left the sector. Okay, I can live with that. They do build like a little flotilla thing right there. That right there is not a part of this ship. That's actually a loading dock. So when the shuttle comes by, it'll stop at that. Little dude in the suit will be right here, and he'll jump out, and he'll go over to the ship, basically. It's basically a temporary, like, loading platform, which is kind of cool. Like, they've basically thought of everything with this game for, like, what's going to happen with your characters. Like, why can't they go this way? Why can't they go that way? I got them to offload this too over here. Sometimes it'll like not transfer things. That's when you got to go to this transfer menu right here, and then you hit select all, and you just press the plus key until it selects everything that you want them to take back over to the other ship. Sometimes they haul it on their own, sometimes they don't. It's kind of hard to figure out why they don't do certain things at certain times. Dude, we've got so much hull scrap. I'm really excited about it. I hope this guy builds this thing, man. Like, I really need you guys to build this, and the fact that you aren't doing it is weird. There we go. I just told him to manual build it. You are well on your way to building a new spaceship for your crew. You can have your crew prioritize building the new ship. Be sure to set some of your crew members to prioritize working on it. Yeah, so basically, what they're going to want you to do here now is because there can be multiple ships inside of a sector at any given time, and this game is going to have you stealing other people's ships and living inside of your ships, and there's also derelicts. Basically, what will happen is every single ship that exists on the map, all right, will be in this list. And then right now, we're on the Galatea, which is a space station that's for mining orbital, just kind of asteroids and bolides. Instead, if we wanted them to live on this ship, we just swap everything over. We click everybody right here to say, hey, sleep on this ship. That means it's effectively their home. So we say, hey, sleep on that ship. I'm not going to assign them to work on it just yet. Actually, I may leave them... What's that? Work preference? Yeah, working is allowed. I just don't want you to eat on the other ship. I don't want inefficiencies like Rimworld style to come up where they're like loading into the shuttle, flying their TV dinners over here, and trying to sit inside of the new ship to have their hungry man. You know what I mean? Like it's a little inconvenient. Little organizationally inconvenient. Why is the manufacturing area not connected by hull blocks? I just noticed that. They have to put on a spacesuit every single time that they come on into our manufacturing area. Well, that's weird, dude. Wonder why they do that. If that's just a weird little idiosyncrasy or what it is. Where are you at? Where are you hiding? I want you drafted, and I want you to come over here and get a gun. I want a few more people to have firearms, if we can. Especially like our security officers or whatever. So there we go. Security officer's taken care of. That has no power. That's okay. We can solve that in just a minute. We're going to be basically jacking all the stuff from this ship. It's going to be tense, though. So, like, by my reckoning, the first thing that we need to rip out, I may actually build it fresh just to be safe. So, like, what I was thinking is we got to rip out the life support first. But if we rip out the life support here and put it in here, so, like, the first thing we rip is the life support and the beds. But if we do that, there's still the chance that everybody will suffocate and die. And so I'm a little bit nervous about everybody suffocating and dying. I'd prefer to avoid that, so maybe don't suffocate and die. If you wanted to see how mining works, oh, they're still not done with the teardown over here. They still got all kinds of stuff going on. All right, well, one thing at a time. Let's keep it rocking. So I guess we'll just go over some features, too, while we wait here, because, like, there's all kinds of stuff we need to get done with this craft over here. We are making stuff out of our hull blocks and whatnot. And it's going okay. Like, we've got somebody down here manufacturing from time to time. But there are other interesting things in this game that you kind of want to keep an eye on. So, for example, this right here is a power node. If we take a look at this right here, we can actually look at the power links on the grid. And so we've got life support systems hung up on the walls right there, I think. Unless those are wall nodes. Are those wall nodes? Those are wall power nodes. So that's effectively like a wall power outlet. And so this is the main generator right here, and you actually have to link all this stuff together. Once these have been linked, they basically supply power to everywhere that's lit up on the ground right there. And everything inside of it will be considered automatically plugged in via like an external cable or whatever. That's, you know, one of the things. If you're worried about all these warnings over here on the right-hand side, they're talking about this ship and all the stuff that we haven't prepared for it yet. Don't worry about it. It's no biggie. We still just got to wait for them to get some jobs done in manufacturing. And then we'll be able to do a lot more interesting stuff. We've got 21 blocks right there. I don't really want to build more on the other ship until I know exactly what I have or what I don't have. That's the part that worries me. I can show you how mining works, though, too. If we wanted to, we can go over here and we can mine these noble metals just like that. You just click on the asteroid, and then you just say, hey, I want you to bring back 11 of those. And then they will go do it. Look, they're in their little space pod right here. So this little guy's going to fly on out, and he's going to laser the surface of the asteroid for a little bit. And that means he will pick up whatever the resource is that's on this side. But yeah, it's our first little introduction to Space Haven. The game is quite interesting. I'm excited to see where it goes. Once we get our ship built, we can fly around, and that's the galaxy map right there that kind of spirals into the center. It looks like there's little side objectives and things going all the way in, so it seems like there's not really going to be that much of a limit on like the beginning content. You know, if you can get everything set up, you can fly on in. As of right now, I have not gotten the spaceship completed yet in all of my test runs. It seems like it takes a good hour or two to really get it buckled in and done. But maybe we'll be able to do it here. If you enjoyed this episode and you wanted to see a little bit more, leave a like on the video. Also, check out the Discord link for the community hub. There's about 2,000 people on our Discord now, which is really, really cool, and I'd love to have you there. I use it for notifications and just chatting with people and all kinds of stuff. Great place to make friends, to play games with as well. You can also check out the Twitter, and you can check out the Twitch stream. I've got all those requisite links for you down below. How you doing? Take care, everybody. That's all I got, and I'll see you with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet tomorrow.